Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about boot camps and job guarantees. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, Frederick, is boot camps with a job guarantee the best way to get that first job? So the short answer is maybe, probably not, but it could be. So I think that we need to unpack this a little bit, because this is it's a little bit interesting to me, because something I just need to say this very quickly. Guys, boot camps with a job guarantee should be something that you are extremely cautious of. You should be very careful with this sort of promise. The reason is very simple, because boot camps with a job guarantee that promise you basically that you will have a job at the end of this, they can often turn out to be a scam. I'm sorry to say, a lot of them are scams. And they're a scam because they're basically promising something that is most likely not going to be the thing that you think you're going to get at the end of it. You see, boot camps with a job guarantee, what the scam versions, I mean, I'm sure that there are some boot camps out there that actually work out for people. I have so far never ever seen one that actually does deliver the thing that they are saying that they're delivering. But the ones that you should be aware of that actually has been in the newspaper, there have been reports about people basically scamming entire communities of people, especially in the US, is that the way that they work is very simple. What they will do is that they will give you a really shitty course in programming, like the absolute shittiest thing that you can imagine. And the reason why they claim that it's a job guaranteed sort of thing is because they have figured out a way for them to make money either from you personally. In other words, they're going to give you a token position somewhere, doing something that is sort of programming related. If you think that you're going to take a bootcamp with a job guarantee and then you're going to get a job at Google, you are kidding yourself. You're kidding yourself. That's not going to happen. You're going to get, if you get the job, if it's actually even remotely serious, it's very likely that you will get a job doing something extremely trivial in a company that you most likely have never heard of. The second thing that some of them do is that they actually get, because coding is in such high demand, and coding and programming and all of this stuff is something that people see as an investment for the future, these programs do get funding from the government or from different institutions and so forth. And if you can think about that, then that basically what their business model is about is not about making you the best programmer. It is about pretty much guaranteeing that they are compliant with the requirements of the fund that they are going to get money from. And that means that unless that fund has the awareness to understand what actually dictates working for real in IT, like having a real career prospect as a programmer versus just learning some basic coding and then getting exploited, if they don't enforce the sort of difference that is required to have here, then all you are is just a temporary seat that they need to fill, and then they get money, and then they just need to be compliant with the requirements of the person giving them money. They don't care about you. It's not about you. It's about getting paid to do the bare minimum amount of work in order and then send you on your way. And this is something that I've seen happen a few times. Not luckily for me, I've never been forced to be part of something like that, but I have seen it's a very similar thing to how some companies exploit junior, and they hire people fresh out of school, they don't know anything, and then they tell them that, oh yeah, you're going to learn programming and so forth and so forth. And what they do is that they put them in some shitty role doing like testing or something extremely small, like checking their web page for issues or changing something small about their web page or something like that. And they don't pay these people a single cent. They pay them absolutely nothing. And It's basically a slave labor at the lowest level, and they don't invest in these people. And that's the reason why I say that you should be careful, because any boot camp who promises you that you're going to get a job either has, as I said, I've never seen a company that would be open to this sort of thing, that actually is going to be the sort of company that is best for you as the person taking the role. Because the fact of the matter is, guys, that the most of the companies out there, they're very picky about their programmers. There's a deficit of programmers. Like, everybody needs programmers, but they don't need just anybody. They need good programmers. So I've never ever heard of an IT company of any meaningful size that does anything meaningful that would just have the policy that, you know what, we are going to be part of this program that this bootcamp offers, and literally anybody, because that is the guarantee, literally anybody who finishes that course we will take in, and we will start paying a salary. Just think about it yourself. The cost to the company is going to outweigh the cost of the course itself, most likely. I mean, to pay you to give you a real job and so forth. It's too good to be true. It doesn't seem, for most companies, this is just not feasible, because most real IT companies, they're going to do they will never take the word of a bootcamp instructor over doing their own screening process. Nobody blindly hires everybody. They're going to interview each person, they're going to test you, they're going to do all of these things. And sure, if the job guarantee thing from the bootcamp isn't that they have a job lined up for you or something like that, but rather that you don't pay them until you get a job or something like that. This is the thing that is tricky. It all depends on how the bootcamp is structured. I'm just warning you that some of them are a scam. They're not really something that you want to do. With that said, what I think that is the way that you should be doing this, if we talk about that, is that you should focus as much as humanly possible to create yourself a very, very strong CV. You don't need the bootcamp to do this. The bootcamp is or rather, you don't need the job guarantee part of the bootcamp. If it feels comfortable to you and you feel that you can trust the bootcamp, go for it. But as I said, be aware of that there are quite a few scams out there regarding this sort of thing. But there's something that will pretty much always work, and that is, as I said, create that strong CV, fill it out with extra work, course material, open source contributing, and things such as that. And then after that, practice your coding skills. Make sure that you are practicing and that you actually progress your coding skills so that you can pass code tests and that you can actually do the job well. Like, really, really invest in yourself so that you actually know coding. Don't think about programming as this, oh, I'm just gonna learn this and then it's gonna be the same thing as, I don't know, working in the cash register or something like that, because it's not. Programming is a serious expert field which is going to require you to learn things pretty much for the rest of your life. So you need to invest mentally into yourself and into this profession in order to actually achieve this goal. If you're just half-assing it, it's not going to go anywhere. And lastly, I think that it's really important that you consider having that you consider having a mentor, or if you can't find a mentor, try to just get to a point where you are emotionally equipped with being rejected, because the last part is about applying for jobs. If you get into the industry, if you break through and you spend a few years in the industry and you build up a little bit of experience, you're going to be drowning in job offers. If you do it, I promise you that. If you go to a bootcamp company or some company that takes in just anybody, also it may be the case that they don't even, one of the main reasons why everybody wants to work for Google is because even if they don't survive in Google, is that the brand value of Google is super high, so they're basically guaranteed to get any job they want afterwards, or that's what they think at least. that's probably not going to be this case for a company that where if you work at a low-end company where basically anybody is guaranteed a position. But if you get used to actually applying for jobs, going to interviews and going through that process, it will grow you as a person and as a professional. Because I mean, guys, everybody gets rejected in their career a few times. Do you think that I have gotten every job that I've been interviewed for? Of course not. And neither has most of the professionals that you know. It's part of the equation, guys. Rejection is a part of that equation. And the best part about actually applying for jobs yourself and having that strong foundation with the CV and the skills and so forth is that although it might not feel as emotionally easy in the beginning, it will toughen you up, but it will also allow you to choose the roles that you are applying for. If you go with a job guarantee offer in the bootcamp scenario, I've seen this happen as well, where, I mean, they offer you a position, like a really shitty coding position at some low-end firm, and you're not actually, like, you can turn that down, but then you're breaking their contract, because most likely what the contract states is that, oh yeah, we will offer you you're guaranteed a job, but they don't specify what type of job, they don't specify which company it's going to be for or how long you're going to be employed. They might fire you after 2 weeks. You don't know. Like, it's all down to the semantics of what the deal actually is. And all of a sudden, you're basically just buying into their scheme instead of setting yourself up for setting up your expectations and actually investing in the thing that really should be the thing that you focus on, and that is to grow stronger yourself. You need to have not just a job, you need to have the job that will actually develop you into a real professional. So what I want you to take away from this is that I don't believe necessarily that these job guarantee boot camps are the best way. I'm saying that I have still never seen one that has actually delivered on their promise. They have either always been a scam from the ones that I've seen, or they have literally given out like a job guarantee that is where they basically just create their own little small shitty company and allow people to do some low-end work for almost no pay, because as I said, like, how can they pay you a living wage and that's going to outweigh the cost of the education, like the course itself? Because if you think that you're going to be a self-sustained and self-reliant and just like money-producing developer at the end of one bootcamp, you're kidding yourself. It takes a lot longer than that. So they're going to pay you more, or some company's going to pay you more than you paid for the course. Very few companies will do that. Most companies don't just trust people, they screen people really, really thoroughly. With that said, if you do find a bootcamp that you feel that you can trust, then sure, go for it. But I argue that what you should be doing is that you should focus on getting a really strong CV, make sure that that's really in place. The second thing is practice your skills, like just keep on practicing, keep on learning. And lastly, make sure that you apply for jobs and that you feel emotionally equipped to deal with being rejected, because everybody gets rejected. It's a part of the process, but it also makes you stronger. In the beginning, it's going to feel like shit, but by a few years into your career, it's going to be like nothing to you. And that's exactly what you want, because you want to be in a position where you are equipped to say no to things, that you can be decisive, and that you have the ability to actually know how to go through all of these processes, because it is a little bit of a jungle, and learning the ropes is a much more important thing than just having any job at the beginning, because it feels easier for you. Because if you know the ropes, you can pick wherever you want to work and make the choices that will be right for you. Have a great day.